Another Monday, another day of camping. Sometime out in the countryside, what could go wrong? Of course, if everything we've seen so far throughout all of the episodes of Yuru Camp that we've watched, a lot. Whether it be sub-zero temperatures, a curse of the caribou, or just trying to figure out what to eat. All quite as devastating as the last. But hopefully you've been enjoying it, and we have a little more to go. Since we had the group outing, one of which almost slept through it, there's still going to be more to see, so dig yourselves in, get a drink. Let's watch some more Yuru Camp. And considering that the temperature around is getting a little nippy in the air, it might be a good... Destroying the panoramic photo. Well done. It might be good to start wrapping up a bit warm, is what I was trying to say. And being told that by a child, she shows no remorse. To the victor go the spoils. I wonder if she's going to get a drink or two as well. Actually doing a little bit of research and a bit of knowledge there. Rather than just, there's some islands, no idea what they are. Yeah, you might want to do a round table, think of some better names than that. There's plenty more for them to see in the future. There's those kind of treehouse hotel type thing. Right now, probably not. In the future, they're going to be pressing for that. I'll have to make a second trip. She didn't think about the temperature and the cold, and no one else warned her. They just want to see her suffer at this point. Overall, I would like to just sit down and feel a bit of a breeze. Obviously not too cold. Not getting into any of that. If I didn't have to worry about the journey, the preparation, the cooking, anything really, if I can just be a passenger on this journey, maybe camping wouldn't be so bad. And one thing about Yuru Camp is that it's never really anything to really get stuck in too deeply with. It is just enjoy the time, see them actually appreciate the landscapes and each other. Sometimes we need that almost no responsibilities in just watching stuff. We need to remember anything as well. That suits me to a T. Considering the journey there is still just seeing the sights along the way. When is it all going to hit the fan when they try to actually get to the campsite? I never stop off before they make it. I think they should be able to find at least one. So there's plenty of good springs. Got you. Huh. Actually seeing a bit of the history of this part of the island and how it was created. Didn't expect that. I like it. Yeah, taking the paths over the mountains wasn't a good idea. What? When did this turn into an advert? To be fair, I am kind of hungry now. Maybe it worked. And a good view to go along with it. Seems like they hit the jackpot there. They're basically 10 minutes away at most. Depending on traffic and how much they'll get caught up. She listening? I mean, it may not be in her best interest to carry on driving for too long. It's starting to seep in, is it? As long as she doesn't crash now. Has the car actually started moving? Good. Just keep the goal in mind. You can fall asleep in the bath. Well, that's a lot of happy faces there. Seems like they picked a good spot. And a good time if they're seeing this sunset like that. Sometimes a little diversion and distraction in your plans makes them for some memorable moments. I think sometimes the best things that has really happened to me is when I don't go in with a plan and just go all in and don't actually think of anything. You know, it will either go horribly wrong or it works out. Mostly it's worked out so far. She fallen asleep? Well, just make sure she keeps her head above water. She's gone through the ringer on this little journey, this little trip. No, there's the real old fart. Hang on, you're meant to be... Looks like they're staying here for a bit, or... She paid the price there. You know, she held out for so long. So it's fairly free. Two small groups, so they'd be able to intrude, maybe? And while it was only a single drink, very responsible to get a driver out. And she's still not recovered. First we had Nadeshko just completely out of it in the last episode, now we got her. Seven hours later. I mean, maybe she would choose to go inside the the caravan on future journeys. Not the pine cones again. Please don't cry out in pain when they set them on fire. They're being quiet, which is good. So, teaching how to actually make a campfire is good. Doing it safely is another thing. Making fires was easy when I was younger. Doing it in a manner where no one would get hurt, that never really crossed our minds. I'll bury her where she sits. Quick, we better write down this recipe. You've ruined it now. They're starting to bring it back, but still there's certain vegetables in there which I don't really... Oh, no, I don't touch. I mean, for various recipes that they've come up with, she's arisen from her slumber. That's well done, I guess. Actually having some lobster on a camping grill. Not something I would have ever thought of. Well, apart from the bit where she had to get a driver in. So it's for the best of everyone. I wonder if at any point she has any sort of introspection on what she's doing, how much she's drinking. I mean, come prepared. I mean, the fact when you just have everyone around you know and tell you don't drink too much, yeah, you got a problem there. Not that we had any doubts about that before. Both ends of the scale right there. Tearing her apart, just trying to stay awake now. Yep. There you go. Feed into the story. We can't just give away all of the secrets too early. Is it a good idea? They're going from one meal to the next. We're seeing this pot with making a bunch more. We had the lobster before. Well, using it to cook and make sure to reduce it nicely. Can't really complain. This is going all in for a nice meal here. The 4 panels there showing the progress from chopsticks to mouth. If I wasn't hungry before, I will be now. I haven't had like overly crispy fish and whatnot too often. And how often are they actually going to have to go down the shops, stock up on everything? They've made all this in the span of like an hour or so. She hasn't even finished eating. Well, they'll just have to finish it for her. Is she her mother? Mamashko. Oh, I hate it. Bad puns are part of the course, but even that was pushing it for acceptability. Perfect watching for a time like this, all around a campfire. Well, yeah, if she's got no qualms about it. And is this where Rin will come up from behind? He again? She is not going to be able to sleep tonight after all that zombie ruckus. I mean, it's a mixture of the van and what she went through. Yeah, you might want to keep that one to yourself, though. To be fair, a campsite like this with not too many people around would be pretty. You'd be pretty safe in a zombie invasion. I can see that. Personally, I don't think the waves are that kind of homely, relaxing sound to me, but maybe the sound of rain. It is Britain, after all. Has it changed her perspective on all of this? Because then she could expand her horizons a bit. And if any of them want to call on her, well, they've got someone handy who knows how to drive. Without her being the catalyst for all of this, the gung-ho attitude just charging in, would it have been easy for them all to come together like this, make these plans? Experience these things? It's not that late. Now, hopefully they'll actually be able to get some rest and be bright and awake to drive again in the morning. If they need to go out for groceries and what more, or just to have a good day. They missed each other by half an hour. I do like the idea, though, that when we have Rin going around doing a solo camping and the like, it is just a brief walk around everywhere, just seeing the sights, now doing it at 4 in the morning. Sneak back in. Creeping into the tents. It's not much of a group activity, group camping experience when she's going off and seeing all of this solo. Wonder if anyone would be particularly jealous of her that she's seeing all this without them. It'd still be quite cold, and yet they're just standing out there in... I mean, she was last in, she should do it. She's run away. Don't worry, she'll come back when she's hungry. A true villain. She knows the high life, what it is to have that freedom. Can't be stifled by everyone else holding her back. It is so refreshing actually seeing characters with a little bit of I've forgotten what the word is. Well, the get up and go for her to be a bit self-reliant and do her own thing. And it's not just a case of everyone go to bed, everyone wake up, do more group activities. Everyone does have their own rhythms, waking up at different hours. It's also believable, considering my sleep schedule is a little terrible. Would like to see the night sky at some point. San. Is it going through the whole recipe, teaching you how to do it again? Oh. Adorable, yeah. You did need to finish with the little plop. Being the mother again. Well, now we've got the camp matron, Nadeshko, or Mameshko, being the one holding it all together. She's the one that brought them so close in the first place, so... But how can you really just not enjoy Yuru Camp? It's so calming. Slow, perhaps, but that's the entire point of it. It's not a detriment in this show. Having the trip to, the slight distractions, the sights along the way. And maybe one or two characters annoy each other. Or failing that, at least play a little trick or a prank or two. Just, you have to believe everything those sisters say. We've seen quite a few ideas for different meal items, whether it be quick and simple, just some instant noodles, to the more complicated, complex, and things you might not thought about on a road trip or camping trip. Or wherever I've thought about for normal meals. I don't think I've ever had any shellfish. Well, first off, I don't think I've ever had shellfish. Second point, definitely not in a style like this, where you're making most of the meat and then boiling off the shells afterwards for a bit of a tasty broth. God, I don't know if I can just express how much I like this show. There are shows which definitely have an amazing plot. There are shows which have really interesting characters. There are shows which lead you on with tantalising bits of information, you work it out yourself. And then there's Yuru Camp. I think even without the characters that we've kind of got to know, if you strip all of it away, you still got that basis of just the warm, comfy blanket of the idea of the show. Put in every one of them, Rin, Nadeshko and whatnot. Can't really go wrong. I think we all know at least one person, one friend that could fit in each one of these characters' kind of character types, personality types. And in one case, the heavy drinker shouldn't be trusted behind the wheels of a vehicle type. If you are one of these types that would actually like to travel around and see all the different places and views, the present day is probably a good time to do it. Like what we saw in the car, being able to find any sort of hot springs or attractions, activities, local businesses, at the push of a button on your phone, that is so handy. Especially for me, who would get lost just going down the local park. But now that, with all of that said, apart from the teacher needing to be restrained, I think, at one point or another, the fact she brought along that cooler of extra drinks just in case, she's got to have a nice evening. The earlier interaction with the vending machine drink and the paid taxi driver obviously didn't really impart much of an influence on her. She needs help. But it's also funny to see, so I want to see more of it. If you enjoyed this episode of Yuru Camp, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below, consider subscribing, join onto my Discord. But for now, get yourselves a bit of a rest, so that I can see you in the next one.